What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and this is the UFC ESPN Plus 30 post-fight show. The Figueiredo Benavidez rematch world title fight absolutely delivered. I want to talk about the entire card. I'm going to start it off with the big main fight, and then I'm going to go down throughout the undercard. If you guys want to stay tuned for that, you absolutely can. If not, click out. You definitely have some good undercard fights that are definitely worth hearing about, though. So I am going to bring up the page that I'm going to be using here. All right, let's get way down because there are a lot of images here. All right, we got Big Dana White in the house. Okay, so Deiveson Figueiredo defeats Joseph Benavidez. He pulls it off here. The fight doesn't go out of the first round. Figueiredo looked like a straight killer. I am so impressed by Figueiredo. His future is bright. He is an elite level fighter. Congratulations, Joseph Benavidez. He's a legend of the sport. I feel like he could definitely retire. He wants to do another fight, which is fine. I get it. And hopefully he gets a fair matchup, not something too big of a competition with a guy with big pop in his punches like a Pantoja or something like that. I hope that they give him a little bit of an easier last fight, and hopefully he does retire after that because he is 35 and he was brutally beaten here. Now, if he wins and looks impressive, maybe he'll stick around and maybe he'll be fighting some big fights, but I don't see another title fight in his future, and I'm excited to see the reign of Figueiredo. Let's get to the co-main event. Jack Hermansen quickly submits Kelvin Gastelum. Bright future for both these guys, but I really think for Hermansen, he's going to be fighting for a world title sometime soon. I think that he should be fighting the winner of Whitaker-Till, and I think he'll get the title shot after that. Don't think I'm forgetting about Jared Cannonier, though. Cannonier, I think, should be next for the world title fight after Paulo Costa and Adesanya. I think he's the next guy. You could maybe say give the winner of those two to Jared Cannonier, but I really feel like Hermansen will end up getting it. And Cannonier should just end up getting a shot. Even if he isn't the most known guy in the weight class, he's a scary guy, and he beat Jack Hermansen. For Kelvin, I hope that he decides maybe to cut down to welterweight and give it a shot again, because I really think he could be so good there because he's really good at middleweight. But if he does stay at middleweight, I don't think he's going to be on a losing streak much longer. He'll end up getting a victory and getting it all back together. Let's go down the card a bit more. Mark Jacasey. Interesting matchup, tough fight against the very good Rafael, and we didn't even know that he was that good. I was super impressed. Extremely crisp striking. He's a Muay Thai coach at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand, so you know he's elite level, and he looked great against Mark Jacasey, who obviously gave him a good fight too, and Jacasey's no slouch. Look for Fiziev to get an exciting fight next. He's someone to keep an eye on, and Jacasey, I believe he will bounce back, but his ceiling maybe not as high as most expected when he initially made the octagon. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I'm choking over here. I'm choking up crying. But when he initially made his UFC debut, there was a lot of potential there that they saw, maybe even world championship type potential. But the more he fights, I think that's becoming a distant thing for him. But let's move down to Ariana Lipsky. She wins a very impressive knee bar submission over Carolina Luana. I'm impressed by her. I think she's got a very bright future in the UFC. 2 straight wins now. Look for her to get another fight that's fairly big soon and move up the rankings. Luana, they'll keep her around. She'll get another fight. She's 1-1 in the octagon, I believe, now, and definitely not somebody that's going to be cut anytime soon. I think she will get a victory sometime in the near future, and by fighting someone maybe more at her level, and if she keeps improving that crisp boxing skill, the knee bars, that's just a crazy thing that can happen sometimes, and she played the game and got tapped. Let's move down. Pantoja, Askarov, and a lot of people's mind, this was the #1 contender fight at at the flyweight division. If Pantoja won, I thought it would have been, but seeing Askarov win, I think you got to give Moreno the title shot next, but we could see something different happen. Pantoja takes the L here. Askarov looks very good, and I think Askarov has a bright future, and he could be fighting for a title really soon. I think he needs one more before the belt, though, for Pantoja. He needs to go back a bit, get a couple more wins, and I do believe he does fight for a title sometime in the next 2 years. He's a very skilled fighter that's going to just keep pushing forward for the belt, even if he does take a loss here and there. Okay, another win. Roman Dalzi defeats Cadiz Ibrahimov. Very impressive knockout. I think that Roman's pretty good. He's a skilled guy. He's got some power. He kicked right to the head and cracked that shot with his knee and just dropped Cadiz, and Cadiz was finished. I think Roman definitely be sticking around, definitely getting a bigger fight. Cadiz may find himself outside of the octagon in his next fight, but with COVID-19 going on, they might need to call him for more fights, so I guess we'll find out in the near future. Grant Dawson, impressive, dominant over Nad Narimani. I think he's a bright prospect at featherweight. This was a catchweight at 150, but he's still a bright prospect there. Nad, I think he sticks around, but I don't know how high his ceiling really is. Some cool pictures there. Joelle Alvarez retires Joe Duffy. She submits him in the first round, and then Joe Duffy retires after. I'd say that's pretty impressive in my opinion. I think Alvarez is somebody to keep an eye on. I think he's got good skills everywhere, and he could be a top 15 guy in the near future. I really believe that. And now as we go more down, Brett Johns, upset victory over Montel Jackson. He looked dominant doing it. Very good, 29-28 on all three judges' scores, and all three judges gave him the loss in the first round because he was put down with a punch. I'm impressed by Brett Johns' grappling skill. Wasn't the most exciting fight of all time, but he did what he had to do to win, and I always will respect a winning fighter doing what he has to, and he definitely was that guy. Used the clinch well and used defense very well. Amir Albazi with the win, quickly submits Malcolm Gordon. His jiu-jitsu skills solid. If you look here, if they have any pictures of the triangle, they don't have a picture of the triangle, but he was able to get him down, dominate him, and put him in a triangle. Bright future at flyweight for this kid. I really believe that. And for Malcolm Gordon, I don't think he's going to be cut or anything like that. Okay, Armand Saruki is the biggest guy in the card that I want to talk. He looked so good. I was very impressed by Armand. Dominates DAVI Ramos, and honestly, keep an eye on Armand Saruki, and I believe he'll be a world title challenger possibly sometime in the next 4 years. He's only 23. He's getting better and better every day. Very skilled. He mixes it up beautifully, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for him. For DAVI, he'll definitely be back, but I don't believe he has that world title potential, to be 100% honest with you. And it's not that he's not a really skilled fighter. It's just he's 33 years old. His timing wasn't there in terms of when he, really landed in the UFC, and he lost to a very young up-and-coming guy. And then you got Sergey Spivak looking like a straight killer, winning a majority decision. I thought it was a unanimous. He beats the previously unbeaten Carlos Filipe. He did what he had to do. It wasn't the most impressive fight of all time, but he did exactly what he had to, and he got the win over the scrappy Filipe. I think Filipe gassed a bit. I mentioned that I believe he has some stamina issues, and it was proven to be true, and he gassed out and was dominated in a 10-8 round in round 3. One judge saw it a draw because I guess he gave the first 2 rounds to Filipe, but then this other judge is here. They disagreed, and thankfully we ended up getting the right guy winning. Both will stick around. I see Spivak as a decent heavyweight. He's all right. And Filipe, I don't know, as of right now, he's not really anything crazy. But, I mean, Tai Tuivasa lost to Spivak, and Tuivasa is fairly high regarded, even though he might not be the best of all time. We'll see where Filipe goes from here. But that's pretty much it for the post-fight stuff with those pictures there. Wanted to show up some images, make it a little more exciting than just me talking. But, guys, thank you so much for watching. Another successful event for the UFC. We look forward to next week's UFC event. It's Whitaker versus Till. I cannot wait to do the predictions on that, and I can't wait to see those fights. Stay tuned, guys. Like, subscribe. Much more content coming. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.